Married at First Sight, the lies, the manipulation, a lot of fakery this episode. So we're going to get into it right about now from a therapist perspective. Now, we're going to have to do the after party in a whole nother episode because I have a lot of irritation. So we got to get into it, all right? But these couples are heading to decision day, but half of them are already there. They've been there from the start. Now let's get into some of these couples. But before I do, make sure you hit that like. We are not too far from 8,000 subs, y'all. I appreciate y'all. And make sure you like that video. You stay for a while. Okay, we just hit 1.3 million views. Okay, so I know y'all like this. So stay. At the beginning of the episode, okay, who should we start with first? Okay, now we start with Emem on the phone with Dr. P. All right. Now, of course, Ike has said one thing, his actions say another. And though she has gotten used to, he's not my husband. I'm going to call him by his name. They meet up at an ice cream shop for what? For a scene? It was for a scene. But hearing her talk to Dr. P, I don't know. I just felt like, why are they putting this black woman in this situation? Why are they continuing to say you should try? Maybe when he comes back from homecoming, we'll see what it's giving with the communication. I'm like, why are y'all doing this to her? This man went to his homecoming. Y'all know in the black community how important homecoming is. Some of y'all go to link up with your boo thing that you got on the side from college. You can't let go of. Other people go kick it with they girls and they bras. Now with him, I'm wondering, was it an escape? But evidently, you're not interested. You have shown us over and over again you're not interested. Okay? Because you would take your new wife to homecoming to show her off to the bras, to everybody, to your line brothers. But does he do that? Of course not. He's not interested in being a husband. And to think he signed up for this show 3 times, I'm still wondering, what was it about this 3rd time that he got in? But y'all wasting my girl's time, okay? They're not living together. They're just dating. It's not going nowhere, okay? And once again, I'm just like, why? Why? Okay? Why does this woman have to go through this for the next 15 episodes with a man who don't want her? Who's not showing any effort? But producer and production, Dr. P on this phone call, well, maybe all these different excuses, caveats to why he disappeared. Okay. I need them experts to be in an apartment in that same complex. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all don't have to, make room for your family on the weekends. But while we are filming, I need y'all on set, on location. So that when this stuff comes up, knock, knock, Dr. P, Pastor Cal, and where's Dr. Pepper? Where's Dr. Pepper? Okay, nowhere to be found. Now the ladies get together, okay. Now this is the scene I've been waiting for. The ladies get together. Michelle tells the lady, I'm looking at my notes, y'all. The ladies Michelle tells the ladies about the text. All right, and I wanted to see Michelle's face. Because if you watch my other videos, my spoilers, what's really going on. And of course she has this this awkward, overly laugh where can I laugh this off so I don't get caught up? And then the audacity to provide advice. Again, she did the same thing on the honeymoon. And I wonder for some people, what does this show about Michelle's character? Now, I'm going to go through some of the scenes, but we're going to go through a little bit deeper about some of these relationships and the triggers. Okay, so Michelle tells the ladies, and then we get to her and David. Let's go through the couples now. Okay, now, David is a terrible liar, but Michelle don't give a F. I think on camera, she is portraying herself one way, but I feel like they're having conversations off camera And you know, David on the after party talks about that, but I'm not going to spoil it because we're going to go over there in another video. But I really feel like this whole texting thing, it really gave her something to run with. On these shows, when people are in these relationships that they don't want to be in no more, they looking for an out. They're looking for a reason to make up for why I didn't try, why I didn't give. And unfortunately for Michelle, unfortunately for David, he got his out. She got her out. You know, now I have my reason. Okay, now I'm going to be Nancy Drew more than I am a wife. I'm going to put on my cap and I'm going to investigate. That's going to be my mission the rest of this season. And to me, all he really had to do was, you know, either lie and say it was for her or admit at the time, you know, I've been trying for several weeks. This really isn't working. Was it the right thing for me to do to start having maybe an emotional, I don't want to say affair, but stepping out emotionally with somebody else? No, but based off of the experience I've had with you, I just don't feel like you're interested in me. And I apologize for this situation. I'm a man up and admit, you know, I made some mistakes and I'm sorry you're here now. But I think for the rest of the season, you know, it's not really working out for us. Okay, an emotionally intelligent conversation is what I want these couples to have. But Michelle has so much trauma, and they meet with Pastor Cal. And it's interesting to me that I feel like whenever we learn about Michelle's trauma, it's only with these experts. It's almost, to me, it feels like when she brings up her trauma, it's a reason to, well, I'm acting this way because I was triggered because of this. So we learn that her trigger is infidelity. Her parents went through that when she was younger. But it's like, why bring that up now? And Pastor Cal was like, does David know this about you? Of course not. I had to censor myself because I'm about to say something else. Man, of course not. Okay, because she's given nothing. She has given nothing. Okay? So of course he don't know. He don't know nothing about her. He don't. So I'm like, Pastor Cal, come on now. You know David don't know nothing about her. She's not giving anything but the kid gloves. Let's cater to Michelle. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let's bring David in. Let's see if he'll give us his phone. Okay? And I feel like when I watch David in this scene, I feel like I could just see the stress, the wear on his face. Because when I look at him in this scene compared to the after party, completely different person. So I see the wear, the stress of all this whole thing wearing on him. And I still wonder, why are y'all not, you know, I don't want to say forcing, but putting the same pressure that you guys on him, on her. Where's the reciprocity? As I say, there is no reciprocity between them in a marriage. And I feel like from the experts. Now, Pastor Cal, your time's up. Bye-bye. Okay? Bye-bye. It is just time for a rebrand. It's time for some new experts. It's time for Pastor Cal to take his money and enjoy his life with his wife. But on this show, I don't need it. Okay? Now, we also see how Michelle starts to dig and dig and dig. Okay, and then we get to the cliffhanger, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay? But I also want to talk about Allan and Madison. Now, they trigger each other. Okay? They both want to be seen. They both come from families with a lot of trauma, a lot of parental dynamics where they were lost as children. Lost in the sense of my parents were so enthralled in their own bullshit that I was a child left behind. Allan with the divorce, Madison with this mother who I speculate is very critical, maybe substance abuse, mental health issues. So as a child, she was very much parentified. Okay. And so Allan, you know, says, you know, when you were dancing on the floor, when you were out there dancing for our wedding, it felt, I don't know if this is the right word, but this is the best I could say. Transactional. Girl, you a hoe. It gave hoe-like tendencies. Prostitute-like tendencies. And out of all the words, bruh, that's the only one that you can come up with. You couldn't say it made you seem like you were a little bit, maybe even just say a party girl. But transactional, you put your foot in your mouth. And for a woman who's already been through having to prove myself to people, having to prove that I'm not that girl, that I'm just not a pretty face, okay? Having to prove my worth and to be seen, it's like, here we go again. And I feel like in that moment, I wonder if she was hearing the voices, not literal voices, y'all, but you know, the critical voice of her mother, the people judging her throughout her life. And she kept it together. Okay. And then, of course, production. Let's get in there. Okay. Allan's gone. Madison, tell us. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling right now? Well, you know, they set her up for the okie doke. They set it up for a scene. They knew they can get something. Okay. And so, you know, Allan comes back from walking the dog and Madison's like, I'm a dip. And the interesting thing for me is that she left with no jacket. See, I pay attention to details. Okay. She left with no jacket and came back. So it was about maybe 11 midnight-ish. And apparently she comes back at 3:30 with no jacket. Remember, she walked out that door with no jacket. She claims to have spent time with her friends, or she was going to call a friend, and then came back 3 hours later. Now, if I'm upset and I need some breathing room, and it's 11:30 at night, I'm going to take a jacket because I'm going to be outside, right? I might go get in my car, but I need a jacket. So to me, I really wonder, were you really with your friends? Or did you go to another unit, another apartment unit? Okay? Because the way she was dressed was not, I'm going to be gone for a minute, my purse, my jacket. So my mind went to, oh, she went to another unit. Whose unit? I don't know. But I don't believe she was out with her friends or on a phone call with, I think she said Amanda, for 3 to 4 hours, girl. And I think this whole thing could have been, you know, communicated a lot better. You hurt me. Let's talk about this. Let's communicate. But Madison is also somebody to me looking for an out. She's not interested. She's not attracted. I won't hold your hand down the street. It's not giving. It never gave. It never will. Okay? So her out has been given to her over and over because Allan is emotionally unintelligent. And he's not good with words. So she has her out. Okay? They're not going to make it. They trigger one another. They have too much trauma. And once again, what do I tell y'all? Y'all know what I say. Y'all are in a polyamorous relationship with y'all trauma. It's you, your partner, and your trauma. Triangulate it together. Okay? The trauma is just so deep, you can't see you're being cheated on because your trauma is really the dominant partner here. Okay. Did you know you were in a polyamorous relationship with your trauma and your partner? All of that stuff is getting in the way. Not to, you know, also say that Madison don't fuck with him. Okay? This ain't a man I would ever sleep with, walk down the street with, hold your hand. And I think when she came back, and I feel like they had a little bit of a conversation. Oh, I forgot to talk about the whole gym thing. So when they came back together, they hugged, and for a second, I was like, okay, y'all could kiss right now. I see it. I see that it's possibility, but nope. You're stuck in the friend zone. Okay. And I think Allan also has a lot of anger issues, but they don't show up typically like you would see the iceberg of the obvious things about anger. His anger is below that iceberg. And I think we're going to see it, as the drama unfolds. But Allan ain't innocent. Rubbing my bird, giving him, he's not innocent. Though he is the victim to me in a lot of this, because Madison, what does it say about your character? Okay? What does it say about your character, about you leaving, about you emotionally dipping out with somebody else? What does that say? Okay. Now, I wanted to talk also about Juan and Karla in this tantric yoga. Let me tell y'all, what was she wearing? Where were her panties at? Okay. Now, I've heard of tantric yoga. We've seen in other reality shows, dramas, tantric yoga. I thought it was more about emotionally connected to someone instead of sexually or physically. You connect through body language, through eye contact. So when she walks in, I'm like, are those her titties? Because I'm like, how are you a business owner showing up like that? I could see if it was a lingerie party. It was one of the parties when y'all trying to sell the sex toys. I could see all that, but Miss Ma'am, you had it all just hanging out. All right. And Juan does talk about that in the after party also. Now, okay, this was awkward and cringe. You have two women who neither one of them you are interested in sexually, rubbing up on you. The tantric yoga person is saying, rub the flowers any and everywhere, rubbing them centering around the peen. Just ooh, ah, ooh, ah. She was ready for that. Them cameras ago. She want that thing out. She came dressed and prepared. Okay? But it was awkward. I could see how if she came in like a yoga or something outfit and she was kind of like on the side, maybe instructing Karla. But she saw Juanito and she was like, oh, Juan Honcho, like, ooh, can I touch you? Oh, the flower. Yes. Rubbing it around. Ooh, ah. Now say it, ah. It was awkward and very uncomfortable. And I wonder, for one, like, y'all taking it too far. Okay, I get that y'all want me to be physical, have intimacy with Karla, but that scene was doing too much. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's any more things about Juan and Karla. But that tantric yoga thing, they met with Dr. P, which was pretty boring. Ain't nothing going on with them. Okay? But we also get to Thomas and Camille. Like I said, they're the only ones to me putting in the work. Emotional intimacy, physical intimacy. At least in their scene, it was just the two of them. The cameras were there. But it wasn't this third person. Okay, so it's good to see them exploring their relationship. They're the only ones who gonna stay together. They're the only ones to me who I see developing as people and then as a married couple. When you are getting to know someone, even if it's a relationship, get to know them as a person. Okay? Figure out who they are outside of a title of boyfriend, girlfriend, life partner. Okay. Do you really get to know them as people? Are you so caught up in just rushing the process that you don't get to know them? And I'm trying to think, like, every season we have at least one couple. Last season, who actually stayed together? Was last season Colorado? Did they have anybody stay together? Most of these seasons just give us one couple. Okay, and I guess this time it's going to be Thomas and Camille. They're doing great. They really are. Now, we also get to Michelle calling Denise. It wasn't me, girl. She didn't call me now. Now, of course, David. Why didn't you have a conversation? Okay? She calls Denise, and Denise is like, hey, I ain't with the bullshit. I'm not in this. He called me. Okay? to cover for him. And I said, I'm your big cousin, but no. And like I've said, I remember him growing up with a lot of women in his life. So knowing that the women have integrity also, and they're like, we love you, David, but nah, bruh, we can't do this. So of course we see Michelle on speakerphone because she has her scene. She has her ammo to make him look like a trash human being. Quoted, we hear her say that in the future. To make him look like a trash human being, she calls Denise, and Denise is like, that wasn't me. And Michelle's like, oh, it wasn't. Now I have what I need. Just like in a Disney movie. I have my powers. I just got my powers. Yes. And she's the internal singing dialogue of I have it now. I have my ammo. And this is what I can run with. But a lot of these couples have so much trauma that they should never be on this show. They really have to focus on healing and working through all of that stuff. And the experts are not expert in. We saw Dr. Pepper, was it 3 episodes ago or 2? We haven't seen her in a cool minute. Was it at the beginning of the last episode? I remember she had the straight look, so maybe it was last or before, but let me know. Okay. But it's not going nowhere. And we see on the preview, you know, old boy Ike presents Emem with divorce papers. They still have the couples retreat. And then Michelle starts to put the pieces together of, oh, I think it's Michelle he texting. Bingo. Okay. But it's a waste. Okay. This season was a waste. I have lots of spoiler videos. Watch them if you want to. Catch us on a live later today when we go live and talk about it. But it's a wrap. Put a fork in it. Let these people out these contracts. Stop trying to find them. Okay, sanction them. Let these people go. Free them. Free my people. But let me know your thoughts on this episode. Make sure you hit that like, you subscribe. And let's see you in the next video. Bye.